who don't know, 4 weeks ago, I was in a collision. And as a result of that collision, I'm navigating a concussion and symptoms of whiplash. And so for the last 3 weeks, for sure, every day has been about pain and congestion, loss or lack of clarity and focus, and having to be at home, which has been really hard for me, to be at home and try to do nothing. Not a very patient, and so have been dealing with frustration and dealing with anger, dealing with impatience, and then also opening up at the same time with all of that to curiosity about what's this all about and what's mine to learn here, what's mine to open up to here, what is it that finally is having its day and wanting me to listen and pay attention and tend to it so that it can finally move on instead of maybe being buried and shoved down again, as some of the stuff that is coming up has been for years and years, maybe even decades. So a little slower. I might stumble on my words. I might say something that doesn't make sense. But I am so grateful to be in community with everyone today. I'm so grateful to be able to stand on this stage in this sanctuary with my friend Ginger, and her kids here all the way from New Jersey. And I haven't counted, but like 8 or 9 new people in here today. So what an incredible blessing it is to be right here, right now, and appreciating everything in this now moment. So I have mentioned before, because it's been happening for about 3 months now, that Glenn and I are in a year-long program that has to do with money and the nervous system. And the focus is really on the nervous system and nervous system regulation. And this is something that I know a little bit about because I worked as a chiropractic assistant for 3.5 years before I had stepped into this role. But it's only been in the last 3 weeks that I have really appreciated how essential paying attention to the nervous system and the body is when trying to move through something that would otherwise not be my preference. I'm an active person. I am a very outgoing person. I am here, at least 2 days a week. And VTC really for almost 2 years now has been my focus and my life. And to have to try and let all that go, there was some behind the scenes stuff that definitely took place, but to let most of that go and to have to be still and to stop and slow down and all of that, not necessarily in that order, has been a real challenge for me. And what I found really interesting was yesterday, being here for the first time in 3 weeks, seeing so many people and so many people asking, how are you feeling? I felt like I couldn't answer that question truthfully because I felt like what people wanted to hear was, I'm on the mend, I'm getting better than I was, 3 weeks ago, whatever. And it was asked again and again and again and again, and all I could feel was anxiety building up in me, thinking, I want to be truthful, I want to be genuine, I want to be authentic, but I feel like I can't because other people are expecting me to say something that is so in keeping with New Thought, like, I'm like doing all the stuff and I'm getting better every day because that's what the trajectory is supposed to be. And so what I actually realized was earlier today, an authentic relating question. What's alive for you right now? What's alive for me right now? Feels so much better because it starts with what versus how, which engages a different part of the brain. So it's easier to answer right off the bat. And it allows me to say, I feel tired. I am in pain. I am having a tough time being in front of all these people, even though I am an extrovert and come alive around tons and tons of people and lots of energy. So I really appreciate that, Sherry, who introduced me to authentic relating and with whom I was at Art Level 2. It was a month ago now, over a month ago in Vancouver, and wow, what an experience that was. Anyway, so what's alive for me right now is this ongoing tug of war between being present for what is, honoring how I'm feeling in my body, honoring what it is I want, what I would prefer, Honoring how I've needed to slow down to the point where my most favorite thing that I learned as a spiritual practitioner and carry as a minister and a counselor for the people that I work with and this community that I'm in, prayer, the number one tool for me to move energy and make a difference in someone's life, in my life, that tool has not been available for me in these last 3 weeks until very, very recently. Because prayer takes focus. Prayer takes attention. It takes having to concentrate, not in a like willing and holding kind of way, but being single-minded about this is what I am focusing and placing my attention on right now. And that has been really hard for me because of this concussion and this physical feeling that I would get in my brain, behind my third eye, I guess, when I would try to focus. And so having to let go of that and just be still with whatever it is that is happening, wow, that is such a different place for me to be. So I'm reminded of this class that we are in, the nervous system class. Last week, one of the things that came up, and I mean, it is about money, so there's lots of talk about money and finances and prosperity and abundance in money form. But one of the things that the teacher, Kate Northrup, offered was a quote by her Uncle John, which was, "I see money everywhere." And as soon as she offered that, and I'm like, well, I see love everywhere. I see God everywhere. I see infinite possibilities everywhere. And I see opportunity everywhere. But it hasn't necessarily felt like that. Like I know that is in me, that is like ingrained, that comes from the substance, the essence of who and what I am. But in order to embrace that and actually move forward with that has been a challenge. And so it takes me to what the entire course has been about so far, which is about moving into the body first by signaling safety to your body, which is saying, it's totally 100% okay to feel what you're feeling. And I've talked about this already on a few Sundays, because like I said, we've been taking this class for a few months. And so even in the forgiveness course that we finished up at the beginning of June, there were certain exercises that we did, like the butterfly hug, to help and reset the nervous system, to signal the body that it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to not know what to do next. It's okay to feel like my world is falling apart, because ultimately there is that in me that I am so supported by, that I am so taken care of by, that guides me, that nurtures me, that nourishes me, that I can depend on at any time. But I still get to have the experience I'm having. I still get to honor the pain that I'm feeling in my body. I still get to have the confusion, feel whatever it is that I'm feeling, because if I don't, then what ends up happening is this expansion, this I see love everywhere, I see God everywhere, I see infinite possibilities everywhere, is a threat to what is actually happening. And what my body can handle right now is what it is handling right now. And so I'm so grateful for this course. I'm so grateful for these various exercises that I'm just kind of doing in front of you right now to help me get through this talk. Because when I came up in the foundational studies, the classes, and then the practitioner studies, and then even ministerial studies, even advanced consciousness studies, all the stuff that I have done, it's been about change your thinking, change your life. Change your consciousness, change your life. Okay, that's great. Super simple. But how do you do that when you're in survival mode, right? Like literally, when you are in pain every single day, when you can't focus or concentrate, when you can't actually pray or treat or whatever it is, however it is that you connect or talk to whatever it is that you believe in, what do? You need to let your body know that it is safe to go what you're going through. And as you do that, then the nervous system starts to align. Then your body starts to calm down. Then you realize it's okay to go through what I'm going through. Be there for it. Accept it. Acknowledge it. Experience it. And then, as that edge, as that threat starts to dissipate and soften, move through to the next level. And so this is the thing that is so essential for me right now, because right here, like in this community, we have this, you guys aren't going to see it. One day it will be on this wall, but we have our values compass, and at the very center of our values compass is embodiment, which is all about walking the talk and feeling the love we are in every single fiber of our being, seeing and knowing it in everyone and everything around us. And at the very top, the thing that we champion is transformation. And so we need to find ways that allow us, that help us, that support us to actually transform. Not just pay lip service, not spiritually bypass, not go and shove things aside or hide them in a drawer because they're not convenient to feel or experience, but to feel and experience all of this as the love we are, as the God we are, as that infinite, boundless joy, that love, that creativity, that potentiality that is the quantum field, to show up as that and navigate whatever it is that we're going on so that we can move through it and then express ourselves even more fully than we are in each now moment. So that's the thing that I want everyone to remember. And Brenda, if you'll just do the next slide. So the title of my talk today is, how do I raise my frequency? Because this whole weekend has been about frequency. And we can do all the things, all the stuff, take all the courses, read all the books, go to all the webinars and whatever, but unless our body understands, unless our nervous system understands that it is safe to move past where we are now, we're only going to get so far. We're going to end up sabotaging ourselves. We're going to keep falling backwards and then keep butting up against this, boundary or limitation, wondering, why can't I seem to move forward? So if there is something in your life, if there is a situation, if there is an experience, there is something that you are feeling in your body, is there a relationship that you have? So many other things. If there is something that you feel like, I just haven't been able to get past something, I invite you to open up to this idea that it's so important to get into your body, to signal safety to your nervous system, so that then you can use your conscious mind to open yourself up to a greater way of being, a greater way of becoming. So in the song, Body's Built to Break, which for me, it's just felt like that's what my body's been like for the last 3 weeks. The last verse is a stillness you can quiet down your mind. In the silence, you can tap into your soul. Find peace in meditation, joy in salvation, and it's then that you learn how to live in the moment, really live in the moment. I invite everyone, honor what's happening. Tune into that living frequency of authenticity, which is as much about the essence of who and what we are as it is about what we're experiencing in the moment. Tune into that authenticity, knowing that the love you truly are is guiding you, is supporting you, is forming and informing every single experience in every single now moment. Thank you, and so it is.